Hello and welcome to today's video. Alright, today is going to be my normal, I'm going to do this every season, so get used to this. We're going to be covering all 29 new legendary weapons that do not come from the endgame activity. Sadly, with the way that Bungie has the system set up, I cannot see the dungeon weapons in the API. So you're going to have to wait till Tuesday of next week to see the dungeon weapons from my channel. Obviously, on Friday after reset, you'll be able to see the dungeon weapons, what they roll with, any new specific dungeon perks, the dungeon origin trait. Also, you can see them in game right now. If you're currently in game, you can also see them in game, and you can read all their perks as well there. But to start with, we're going to start. We're not going to cover Trespasser. Trespasser is going to get its own video, its own build. So don't worry about Trespasser. Trespasser will come later. To begin with, we're going to cover Firefight. Firefight is a 450 round per minute auto rifle. Overall, this gun kind of sucks. Because it's a 450, so 450s aren't really meta right now in either PvE or PvP. Also, it doesn't roll with amazing perks. It's a normal kinetic weapon and doesn't really roll with any perks that stand out to me personally on a just normal basic kinetic weapon. So with that being said, we're just going to skip over this gun and we're going to head down to the bow. So this bow is a seasonal bow. It is our first stasis bow. Depressingly so, it's a lightweight frame. Lightweights can be tricky sometimes with their accuracy. They tend to miss. But with that being said, yes, it does roll headstone. It doesn't roll explosive head, which is a little disappointing, but it does roll headstone, and so it will be good for bows when we have bows in the artifact. This season, bows are not in the artifact, so this is going to be a grind and hold on to. Next up, we have the Trials Fusion. It is also stasis. Biggest thing here is it can roll perpetual motion, which is going to be really strong for PvE. PvP. I also think that elemental capacitor on this gun is going to be underrated. Mostly because of using it with a stasis subclass. I think that's going to be making it really underrated. It can roll high impact reserves and chill clip. It can also roll Vorpal. I don't see this being a PvE gun necessarily. I do see it being really good in PvP. It can roll successful warm up and elemental capacitor, both of which are very good PvP perks on fusions. We do have another Stasis Fusion though that will be PvE meta for sure. Even with the nerf to charge time, you can build these things out to max out their charge times. So you can go super short here on the charge time. You just go accelerated, and then you go a charge time masterwork, and then you're back down to 460 with that, and it can roll Vorpal and it can roll Lead from Gold, both of which are the perks you would want here. So Lead from Gold and Vorpal, you now have a DPS fusion in your kinetic slot, which is really strong and will open up a lot of weapons. And you'll see here that new solar weapons have new perks on them. I don't know if any of the old solar weapons have gotten the new perk. If not, so if they have, then that's cool. But yeah, we have a Stasis Fusion now for DPS purposes, and fusion rapid fire fusions are still very good. Do not underestimate how good they are. Next up, we have Austringer. This thing is competitive for PvP purposes. When it comes to PvE, it doesn't really have any perks that stand out to me other than Frenzy. Even with that being said, it still doesn't have perks that are like, oh my gosh, I gotta have this gun. If you're looking for, an Outlaw Rampage Kinetic Hand Cannon, go for it. This gun can do it. Otherwise, when it comes to PvP, I'm going to be personally looking for Eye of the Storm Rangefinder. This will probably become my new go-to Kinetic Hand Cannon based off its perks and everything. And also the fact that its stability is relatively good at base. Alright, next up, DFA. This thing sucks. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but this thing is terrible. It's a regular kinetic hand cannon. They didn't even make a stasis, so it doesn't even roll headstone. Its best PvE perk is timed payload, And when it comes to PvP, it has like nowhere close to Austringer or Iceland's range. It's like 31 meters at best. And that's like full range building, which you're not going to want to do anymore. So yeah, this gun kind of sucks, depressingly so. The new scout rifle from the seasonal activity, Tears of Contrition, also kind of sucks simply because it is a 180, and 180s just aren't good scouts right now. I heard a streamer I watch all the time, Above, mention that he thinks 180s should just be merged into 200s. And I think that if 180s and 200s got merged down to 190s, and that just became the normal like shooting rate of fire for these guns, maybe with a slight damage, keep them at like 180 damage, but bump them to 190 and just get rid of 200s as well. I think that'd be really healthy for the game because 180s just don't make sense currently in the game. Next up is the Inoa D. For PvE, this gun's best perks are probably Feeding Frenzy, Rampage. The new perk, Fragile Focus, isn't going to really help you here. It could help you in PvP, but probably isn't going to help you much in PvE. Well-Rounded is a really interesting perk that I'm interested in combining it with Wellspring here. This is a gunsmith weapon, so when it comes up on the gunsmith, get it, or just grind gunsmith ranks and you'll get it. For the next gun, this is the bow. This bow is actually huge. So it's a solar bow that can be easily farmed and doesn't have to be played Last Wish for. Currently, we don't have a bow outside of Last Wish that you can get on for a good bow. This bow has multiple perks that I'm interested in. Obviously, it can roll Archer's Tempo, which is by far the best bow perk. It can also roll Incandescent. This new perk is going to spread Scorch to targets. Scorch is a new solar verb, and when you spread Scorch, enough stacks of Scorch cause your targets to ignite. Think basically slow stacks to freeze. This is going to be Scorch stacks to explode. So I'm really interested in Incandescent and obviously Explosive Head. So I'm going to be looking for one with Archer's Tempo and then Incandescent and Explosive Head as my god roll. And then you go max accuracy on your bows because you don't need draw time because of Archer's Tempo. Next up, Wise and Rebuke is back. It's a 900. I don't know how these are going to feel now. The charge time got brought down. It has some really good perks on here. Backup plan might be the play on these now. We'll see. I'm not sure how to feel about this gun yet. I'm going to wait for reviews before I give any hard feedback on high impact fusions for PvP. Obviously, for PvE purposes, they suck. New Glaive, it is Arc. It can roll perks that I think we haven't seen before on Glaives, as far as I know. It can roll Lead from Gold, and it can roll Adrenaline Junkie Demolitionist. This is definitely a get pre-Arc 3.0 and hold on to kind of situation. And I haven't played with any Glaives yet post the buff to them, so builds with Glaives will be coming, and I'm going to play around with them post buff. Horror's Least is actually going to be worth farming for, simply because it can roll Frenzy. As I've already made a video on Frenzy if you want my opinions on Frenzy, but literally this gun doesn't matter what it comes in this perk, it rolls with Frenzy. Perpetual Motion is obviously the best perk here, but it doesn't really matter what you play with because you have Frenzy, so get Frenzy, get a Pendamag, you're good in PvE. We have Unstopped Pulse, AB Pulse this season, so this gun's going to fry anti-barrier shields, so definitely be on the lookout for this gun for AB. This scout rifle is a Suro Scout. It's our first Suro Scout we've had in this game. These were super popular in D1. Sadly, it's a 180, not a 200. It does roll good perks, but it's a 180, so it kind of sucks. Unfortunate. On to the Gambit Shotgun. This thing sucks because it's a 140. Unfortunate for it. It has some really good perks. This is definitely, if you don't have a trench barrel shotty, this is a get and hold on to for sure. In case they ever rebuff trench barrel back to where it should be. Also, if you don't have a 1-2 punch shoddy, this gun's going to be pretty easily farmable because it's going to drop double perks. So I would go ahead and make sure you farm up a 1-2 punch shoddy if you don't have one. Next up is the shotgun from the seasonal activity. This thing, I'm not sure how to feel about it. So with all the changes that have been made to shotguns and everything, it has some perks that are interesting. Like you could go elemental capacitor, threat detector in PvE. I mean for PvP. That's really interesting to me because that could like truly max out handling, and then you go accurize rounds and rifled barrel. Another interesting roles to me is hipfire grip, going assault mag, hipfire grip, and elemental capacitor, or even assault mag, hipfire grip, and vorpal. Just double tap supers from hipfire. This gun's really interesting. It looks really cool. So we will see weapon wise how it pans out long term. Forgiveness. Drang is up next. 300 sidearms are pretty solid overall in PvE. Perk share I'm interested in is Incandescent and Rampage. Swashbuckler potentially with some of the new melees we've gotten in the season. A lot more ranged melees. So Swashbuckler is interesting to me. We also have AB sidearm this season, so that's something to take note of. Well-rounded is an interesting perk here with Swashbuckler, obviously. And then for PvP, you're just going to go quick draw Rampage. That way you can pull it out quickly and get kills with it. Next up, Beloved is a PvP sniper. There's not a single PvE perk here that you give a shit about if you're a PvE player. It's simply a PvP gun. You have the same roles you had before. Choose between whether you're going to run moving target or quick draw, and then choose between whether you're going to run no distractions or snapshot. It's craftable. Everybody's going to have an amazing sniper. Also, final blows, it has the 2 XS perk, which states when you get final blows with your super full, you get bonus to strength and discipline. This sniper, the Galu RR3 is actually really interesting, especially for those that don't have a good Uzume. This thing is probably going to be better than Uzume, in all honesty. Simply because it rolls Overflow, Focus Fury. For those of you who don't know, Focus Fury actually is 50% based off your actual magazine size. So you could go Appended Mag, and you could go Backup Mag, which would put you at 7, right? And then Overflow would put you at 14, but you'd only have to shoot 7 before Focus Fury would proc. You'd only have to shoot 4 before Focus Fury would proc. So you could shoot 10 and with Focus Fury procced, which would be really strong actually, and this would make it probably one of our better energy DPS snipers. Those snipers aren't currently in the meta. Having a good energy and a good kinetic sniper to do damage with, and then also having one in each slot for nightfall purposes, something like Lead from Gold or Triple Tap and Vorpal, are good things to have for those activities. Callus Mini Tool, this could be this season's funnel web, in all honesty. It can roll Threat Detector, which is a really good perk. It can roll Slideways, which will just auto reload it from sliding. The perks here that interest me the most is Incandescent and Surrounded, obviously. Surrounded with Surrounded spec, and a crafted Surrounded is a 40% damage bonus. That's going to make this thing go burr. Because this thing is craftable. Incandescent, obviously, defeating a target spreads Scorch to those nearby. More powerful combatants and opposing guardians cause Scorch in a larger radius. This is going to work really well with things in Silver 3.0, which I will be covering a full Silver 3.0 breakdown on Thursday. And then Hero's Burden is also back. Depressingly so, it can only go to 22 meters. I've not seen the change to Multi-Mock and see what Multi-Mock's new range is yet. It does have a new perk, which is Repulsor Brace. Defeating a Void debuffed target grants an overshield. This could be really strong with some Void builds. So if you're looking for possibly a better funnel web, this could be it. It's a 900, it's Void. I don't like 900s personally, but if you like 900s, here you go. We're down to 3 weapons. This one actually has me super excited. So it's a trace rifle. For those of you who don't know, trace rifles are overload this season. So if you don't have the solar one from Dares of Eternity, you should probably get that. It's going to be meta this season. And then also this one. This one's really cool. First off, it has the new perk, Repulsor Brace. Defeating a void debuff target, grants an overshield. This could work really well with this gun. It also has Lead from Gold, which is going to be huge on this gun. It's going to allow you to really hone in that special ammo. And then also, it has Killing Tally. Killing Tally is back. It's not on the machine gun, which is a little depressing, but Killing Tally is back. I never thought this perk would come back because it's insane. Even after the nerf they did to all the damage perks, it's still like one of the best damage perks in the game for killing ads. And so, yeah, Killing Tally is back. It's one of the best damage perks in the game. You don't have to reload. And if you get like a big magazine, like, like this gun has, I'm glad this thing doesn't have overflow with Killing Tally, because this one would be busted if it did. So yeah, Killing Tally is definitely a perk to look out for on this gun. I would definitely farm or craft it, and remember, you can get enhanced Killing Tally, which is probably going to increase the duration or something. The HMG is a little depressing, but it's good. So it's a Stasis HMG. It can roll Adrenaline Junkie and Demolitionist. I think this thing is actually going to be really good. I am a little curious about how they're going to handle Osmosis here. So this gun can roll Osmosis in this perk. We've never had Osmosis on a heavy weapon, as far as I know. And Osmosis and Adaptive Munitions could be gross. So I am very interested to see how that is handled. Biggest thing here is either Osmosis Demo, because those work together really well. If you're not playing Stasis, I think if you're playing Stasis, you probably want to go Demo Adrenaline Junkie. Because any grenade kills you do happen to get, you can get back your grenade pretty quickly through using this gun. Lastly is the rocket. I'm not going to say anything about this rocket quite yet. It is an aggressive frame. We have to wait till see what the new rocket numbers are after the changes to them. And then after that, you can determine whether you need to come get this rocket. This rocket does have good perks on it. It has Vorpal Weapon. It has Frenzy. It has Tracking. It has Auto-Loading Holster. It has Demo. It has obviously it has Impact Casing. It's a rocket. It has Chill Clip and whatever. But yeah, this gun is actually really interesting. But that is going to be it for all the new weapons that we can currently see in the API here as of the start of Season 17. I'm going to try to do a video for Thursday, and then I'll have a video pre-uploaded that'll be our first solar build on Sunday. So I hope everyone enjoys, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Thank you all, and goodbye.